Okay, welcome on in everybody. Hope you're all doing okay. So, I am not sure how long this stream's going to be, if I'm honest. If this stream is any longer than an hour, I will probably say, roughly, then I think we're in a good chance to at least finish it. I reckon the first 10 minutes are going to be so chaotic in this race today. So it's just going to be a matter of get through the initial carnage. Once that is done, I reckon we could be in for a decent finish. I think we just have to get through the initial carnage. So let's get into it, shall we? I've done a bit of practice already. So welcome on in, everybody. The stream does look slightly different. As you can see, I've now got the overlay logo up above me as well. I do think that might be a little bit big, so let's just increase the size of it a little bit. Just don't want it to be too big, you know. I think that looks okay. So yeah, this week we are at Charlotte. So Charlotte is quite an exciting track. It's actually quite a lot of fun GT3 cars, surprisingly, to be honest. Some people like to dub it and call it Mini-Daytona, because in some ways the layout of the track is very similar. It has a lot of similarities. It has its own version of the bus stop. It has its own way of entering and exiting the infield. And the ovals are very similar, is fairly similar as well. So that is why some people dub it Mini Daytona. Obviously the bankings isn't as severe. There are some turns that are actually quite a bit more difficult on this track. So yeah, as you can see, as you probably can't see actually because I'm watching other drivers, but I have been doing a fair amount. I've done a decent amount of practice, and my practice position at the moment is not that bad. Like, I'm in quite high up in the field, and I'm not fully comfortable just yet. So I reckon with time I can go even quicker. I think, to be honest, I think I can just about get into the 16s, but I'm just not wanting to push myself too far. So I think, really, to be honest, because of the factor of anything can happen legitimately, I'm just going to take my time with the race and not push the car that hard tonight. So obviously you may have noticed over this season so far, I have been a little bit more aggressive in a couple of factors. Attacking and defending. I have been a bit more aggressive. I have. It has taken a bit of a toll on my iRacing in some aspects, but I feel like that I'm getting more exciting races and I'm doing better for it overall. It's just a matter of knowing how hard you can do things before it's a bit too much. Another part of why my iRacing's gone down this season so far is because I'm actually racing a bit off stream as well, off recording, and I'm trying different cars out. I'm not necessarily just racing what I know. So I know my iRacing is going to go down overall. So I did gain enough iRacing to go back up to 2.4 after the weekend. Obviously 24 hours of Daytona helped with that massively. But that iRacing I've lost, and a bit more with a race that I did last night. So just a little bit of fun, see how I did. I just felt it, really, and that is what I'm starting to do a little bit more of. I'm starting to do a little bit more racing of cars I don't necessarily drive, just to see how I feel with it, see what I find exciting, rather than just sticking to what I'm driving and what the majority are driving, really, because GT3s are so stupidly popular that when you go to certain tracks, there's just legit nothing you can do, because it's like, you know, there are just too many drivers that are just too fast for what is actually their iRacing, because that is all they drive, and these are just a few tracks that they actually do. And during the rest of the season, they'll drive once in a while, and they're actually pretty bad everywhere else. Yeah, and I'm having a blast. Hello there, by the way, Paul. Hope you're doing okay. Yeah, and I'm having a massive amount of fun with it. I am, honestly. Like, I'm having a lot more fun driving in general. I am, so... We have got still another 14 minutes of practice left. We have, so... part of me is just thinking, let's just chill for the next 15 minutes and get ready for quali. Like, I might just do a qualifying one or two, actually, now that I think about it. So, the track is very short. It is. GT3s can get round the track. On average, I think it's around about 1 minute 17s, which is what I'm doing. But I feel I can go quicker than what I'm doing at the moment. And bear in mind, this lap time that I've got so far for practice is on a race full of is on a full tank. It is, so just drive and have fun. Exactly, you don't always have to race. Yeah, like just have fun most of all. You know me, Paul. I love racing in general, if I'm honest. And I always have done for a long time now. I have, honestly. Like, I think honestly, I'm having as much fun racing at the moment as I did before COVID, if I'm honest. And like, I think in some aspects that is a really good thing to have. You know, because I haven't enjoyed racing this much in a long time. So we'll let this one car go here.
The car looks fine. No damage to report.
No, I'm just going to do a couple of qualifying laps. See how it feels after about a couple of laps. Because I do think I use the tyres up pretty quick around this track. Which is something I'm needing to think about a bit more. Which is another reason why I'm not necessarily pushing the car quite so much. So yeah, I actually did a fixed race around here last week on Paul knows, because he actually did spotting for me. I actually did it in the brand new Porsche, so I've actually had delivery for about a week now. So, you know, like obviously next season, for those of you that weren't around towards the end of the 24-hour race, I have made an announcement. Well, I've made a couple of small announcements. I have. One of them is that I'm not going to be doing any recordings for the time being. I am still going to be streaming, but you won't see me quite as often, so I won't be doing my recordings like I have been. It will be literally just streaming and that's it. So yeah, so that's one thing. I think I just need to regroup a little bit where the recording's concerned. You know, so that way I'm not stressing out about it so much and I feel a lot more relaxed. Yeah, tight exits. Something I don't feel like I can necessarily do though in the Ferrari. No, nothing like the Porsche. And yeah, so the second thing, I have announced that starting next season, I'm going to be only, but my GT3 car of choice is going to be the Porsche. So livery's already been made. Paul's made that for me. So I should have revealed that to my team at the same time as the rest of the community as well.
For a second that would have been a T-bone, and all of a sudden the car disappeared. fast you came from the tyre barrier.
There you go, that's a little bit better. I'm going to switch that off because that will start to get annoying.
You have about 1 lap of fuel left.
Ah, screwed that up.
They say you cut the course. You'll have to slow down and give up the time gained.
So, to be able to do any actual qualifying laps, I do need to up the fuel amount a little bit. So I'm using 2 litres of fuel per lap. I am about 2.05. So I'm going to put 14 litres in, which might sound like a high amount, but you can do a decent amount of laps. You can, because the lap is that short. So I think I'm going to put it like that. Still got a bit of time left, so let's get back straight back out on track. I think another thing that is massively important though is trying to get into clear air. Trying to not be in the midst of traffic. So if I can get into clear air and then just be able to set good lap times, I think I'll be in a very good spot where qualifying is concerned. So I do believe Slipstream wouldn't do anything on this track at all. So the first lap, actual lap will be just an extra warm-up lap, you know, for sure. Because as you can see, my tyres aren't even close to being warm enough yet. I'm still trying to figure out whether turn one's a second gear corner or a third gear corner. I'm thinking it's a second gear corner. And another thing is, I have... No, I'm just gonna tow it. Yeah, that is how easy it is to spin this car. That is, so... How much time do we have left? 5 more minutes. This won't be enough for another qualifying attempt. So I'm just gonna leave it there for the moment. So yeah, I think I just need to get out on track straight away. I think, honestly. There's no point in waiting around. The track isn't large enough necessarily. I think everybody's going to be held up by traffic. So it's just a matter of luck. It's going to be like Monte Carlo in a way with qualifying session 1. Is everybody's going to be on track straight away, just trying to get some clear air. And somebody is going to get in the way of someone. But here's what's going to happen, right? People won't necessarily be punished quite so harshly just because of the factor of, you know, oh, somebody got in the way of somebody else while they were doing a qualifying lap. if somebody's in the way of somebody, they're gonna evaluating it. They're gonna be evaluating it more compared to usual, because they're gonna be like, well, why are they in the way? Have they just made a mistake, or are they just not concentrating? You know, are they on a hot lap or not? You know, that is what they're going to do. They're going to be wondering if somebody's actually on a qualifying lap of their own, and if that is the case, have they made a mistake? You know, are they just slower? There's going to be multiple factors that are going to be coming in, honestly. So it's going to be interesting. I do expect on Friday night, because Friday night is when they do their stewards thing. I do believe on the Friday they will have some driver reports come through where somebody else has been, you know, quote unquote blocked. I am expecting to see a couple. I think at minimum one, probably two, maybe even three. Really, to be honest. But I think if everybody's aware, it might not be so bad. But we just got to wait and see, really, to be honest. Just got to wait and see. Because a lot can happen. You know, there are some very good drivers in this series. You know, like, there are some other GT3 series, and I'm like I've actually said to myself, even actually, you know, that, you know, for the class of really good drivers that they have, this series in particular has a very good track record for you know, good driving. Like, I've seen a lot of drivers be much higher iRating, and their racecraft is abysmal. I was watching somebody else's stream. Like, I know the guy quite well. I've known him for a long time. I actually ran for his team back within my first year of iRacing. It was the first ever endurance team that I raced for years ago. And like, the championship that he's a part of, and I'm thinking, like, why on earth have you got you and your team participating in this? You know, you guys deserve so much better. You know, the series needs you more than the you need the series. You know, why are you driving with these drivers that just do not know how to race against another driver when they're like 5k plus, and they, you know, it just blows my mind that some people are like 5k plus and they still don't know how to race, you know, race alongside another driver. You know, it's absolutely pathetic. You know, and when you look at this series, this... Oh. Oh, dear. I won't say anything in case anybody's doing some last-minute qualifying practice. But yeah, you know, I'll just look at some of the running in other GT3 championships, you know. But some of it you can understand, it is pretty much mostly lower rated drivers. You can understand that to a point, they could be learning still. But when you get to drivers that are doing the same stupid stuff and they're like 3, 4, 5 plus K, you know, at that point you're not really learning anymore necessarily. Like, of course, you know, everybody is still learning, even if you're 9k plus, but there's a degree of where you stop learning to a degree. You know, it's more of the basics. Are you still learning or not? You know, that is more of the thing that I'm thinking about. You know, and what I'm talking about. You know, are you learning the basics still? When you get to even maybe, you know, 2.5k nowadays, you're not really necessarily learning quite so much anymore. So, well, yeah. It's just funny, you know. Like, some drivers have this high iRating yet don't know how to race properly. So, right, okay, so like I said, I am going to go straight out onto track. I am not going to wait around. Normally I would do, but I don't think that is going to make any difference, really, to be honest. I really don't think it's going to make any difference. So got a bit of space behind me, which is good. So I will say, my stream overall does seem like it's been performing a lot better since I've come away from Race Lab and start using iOverlay. But the hardware usage with iOverlay is so much better. It's nowhere near as harsh, which I'm very happy with. Okay, so the tires are still cold. But just remember, there is a rule with qualifying. We're not allowed to tow while out on track. You know, technically. Like, if you tow while out on track, you're not allowed back out. There's Rudy there. Oh, that snap oversteer. Not the best of exits through that mini bus stop. Okay, P9. Seems like about 3 laps is a magic number. So I'm qualifying quite high, which is really good.
You've got about 2 laps of
No,
fuel.
I'm gonna box now.
The officials don't like the way you're driving. Your lap times will be deleted until you reset the car and try again.
Right. Okay, so let's get a first initial stint. I'm gonna bring down the fuel load, I think, a little bit.
Move it, move it.
Might be a little bit of clear air a little bit further back. There's a load of drivers coming around now. For this guy.
No damage. Car looks clean.
So I'm going to do the same thing as I did last time. It's good, very nice and easy on the first lap. Don't push. It's going to be all about that third lap. Got Rob Taylor behind me. I'm not really on a flying lap, so I'm actually going to go wide and let him by. No point in me being in front of him, honestly.
You have about 2 laps of fuel left.
Wanted to start over rotating a little bit on the exit.
Car right. Clear. You have about 1 lap of fuel left.
No, I might duck that lap completely. Oh well. We're still top 10 at the moment, but...
The officials don't like the way you're driving. Your laps won't count until you reset the car and start over. Looks like you're out of gas.
Here we go. Perfect. Okay, right. So not a bad qualifying overall, I will say. We're top 10 at the moment, but I don't think we're going to quite be there. the fact that we're quite far up the field does mean that our chances of surviving the initial carnage is going to be much higher. Just bear with me. I'm just going to put the race setup on now. Make sure to put the enduro setup on. So everybody's now just finishing off their final laps at the moment. Rudy's P32. So at the moment there is 41 cars, so it's not as high as what there is normally. One of our own drivers was supposed to be racing tonight, but they're not. Yeah, I'm thinking I should be turn 2 flat. Under qualifying conditions, definitely. I think during the race, I need to be a little bit more careful because of that initial understeer. But if I can get it perfectly, I reckon I can when I've used some fuel. But I don't think I should right at the start, really, to be honest. You know, particularly when the tyres are warming up. I don't think it's flat then, really, to be honest. But I might be wrong. But by the looks of it, overall, looks like we are in the top 10. Yeah, so we are in the top 10. So we qualified P10, starting alongside Rude Shaw. Silver class pole goes to Frank Cordier. So we're actually P3. We are in the silver class, which is very different compared to last week. Very, very much different to last week. There are a fair few drivers that have not qualified, or probably had an incident at the start. I know there's a couple of drivers that have got qualifying bans. Shockingly enough, one driver has already had a race ban this season for accumulating enough penalty points. And most of it is about holding their brakes. So, you know, when it's a very basic rule and people can't do that, you know, it does make me wonder. It does sometimes, really, to be honest. You know, it's a very basic rule. I understand in the moment that, you know, you're frustrated. You know, you've probably got your hands in your head thinking, you know, why has this happened? Why has that happened? But really, you know, you should just be trying to get the car stopped in a, you know, in an orderly fashion. Really, to be honest. So let's have a look at the order. So Philip Schwarker, pole position. The only driver that's got a it's in 1 minute 15. So he's got 3 attempts off of Simon Ball, who has done fantastically well this season, considering the fact that he's changed car this season. You know, it does add to quite a lot. He does actually. He normally drives the Merc, but I think he's driving the Porsche this season. Yeah, he's driving the Porsche this season, so it does say quite a lot. Bjorn Westerning, who's had a race win already this season, starts P3. Cyril Blanco, I think this is his first race of the season, actually. Starts P4. Frederick Grarath, P5. Frank Cordier is P6, starting pole for the silver class. Rob Taylor, P7. Benjamin Sanderson, P8. Rude Shaw, P9, and then us. Sophie Aronwen, very surprisingly, starting pole for the bronze class and P11 overall. Directly behind her is Jason Finch in P12. And then Paul Carey's one of our teammates. Paul Carey starts P13. And Zachary Hankey, P14. Stefan Titz, very surprising. He's as far down the field as he is. Starts P18. Daniel Slater, P23. One of our main rivals, Daniel Justo, is all the way down in P27. So he's a lot further down than maybe what he should be. Rudy, our teammate, is P32. So second to last place of times that have been set. There has been a couple of qualifying bans being served tonight. But there are some other drivers on top of that, of which either just decided not to qualify, or have probably had an incident early on in qualifying, and so therefore had to tow and probably just did not set a lap. One of them noticeably is Andy Corsa, starting P34. Overall though, it's 41 cars, which, bear in mind, up until the start of this season, the previous max allowed was 50 cars. Now we allow 58. That's to allow more reserve drivers to be able to participate actively if they choose to do so. Because some popular tracks are normally a lot more difficult to have free spots for. And for somebody like me who is on the waiting list, yet battling for the championship, if we can't get into a race just because of lack of availability, it can ruin our championship chances in a way. So right, let's get ourselves ready then, shall we? So we start P10 as usual. It's an hour-and-a-half race. This race could go so many different ways. It can. It could be like Interlagos last season for me, where we get an insane finish just because we get lucky. It could be over quite early. So I honestly do not mind losing positions as long as I'm not in the carnage. I think if I'm in the carnage, it's going to be setting me so far back. It is, honestly.
Go, go, go! One lap to green. Line up on the right side. Closed. Pit road is closed.
I might try and save some fuel during the race if I can as well. That might be another thing that I might be able to do. I'll probably be able to save a fair few laps if I'm honest. And the fuel usage per lap is going to be quite low, because it's not necessarily a fast track. So at the moment it's telling me I'm using 2.12 litres a lap, which means if I'm to refuel it's about 48.47 litres. So
Jetstar 28 car. Jetstar 44 car. Jetstar 58 car.
now, it's probably going to be a bit difficult for me to read chat during this race, if I'm honest. So, I will try and reply when I can, but especially the first 10 minutes, it's going to be very difficult to get through, even with me starting in the top 10. So, obviously bear with me with replying to any messages that you may send. We have got Paul in the chat as well, so if he does want to reply to messages, he is more than welcome to. He's always very trusted. But for those that are watching maybe this stream later on, maybe you're one of the drivers in the series. If this race does go for at least half an hour, we're more than likely to make it to the end, and you'll probably know if we have done decently well or not by the amount of time that the YouTube stream is, well, how long it is basically.
Your car looks fine. No damage to report.
Right. Just want to make sure of that. Should be the case, but you never know. So it's a bit of an awkward start because we start in the middle of the chicane effectively. We do, so that's going to be another bit of awkwardness, not just on the fact of it's a tight track. But we do start in the top 10. I think it's the highest that we've qualified so far this season, so let's just hope for a good finish here.
Green flag, green flag. Left side. Clear.
Rudy's already disconnected. He's already through-putted. Yeah, that turn 2 is not flat while on a full tank of fuel, I don't feel.
Fastest lap of the session. New fastest lap for you.
Oh, did Benjamin actually hit that wall, or was that netcode? He's under a lot of pressure at the moment from Rude. Okay, I'm gonna say that that was just netcode. Benjamin's definitely pushing way too hard early. Start destroying his tyres, which is going to be really bad for him later on. But he's not getting away from me, and I'm barely using mine.
Left side. Clear.
Come on, Benjamin! What a total wanker! What a total knobhead! Right, let's just get our head down. Nothing we can do about that other than just send a report post-race. That would surely go against him. Total disregard to another driver being alongside him there. Which is really bad driving from him. But the fact of the matter that he's just overdriving the car so much just showed he didn't have a clue what was going on.
Car on your left. Clear.
Best of it is, I think I've got to get past my teammate Rudy again now. Worst of it, I've actually got the worst out of the two, which is annoying. But I can't believe that he would think the Apex is his at any point. I really don't. Don't hit that curb so hard, come on. I think we're getting close to turn 2 being flat. The other thing is, I don't think it's flat anyway, because I think you will churn the tyres too much. I think you'll use too much of the tyre, if I'm honest.
Right side. Clear on the right.
There we go. That's how you do an overtake there. Philip's already out. Right, there's not been that much carnage, which I'm surprised with, if I'm honest, but might get a little bit later on. Yeah, that's never going to be flat. Even when the fuel does lower, it'll just churn the tyre too much. It's not worth it.
Car right. Clear.
Okay, honestly, Rudy wouldn't have expected me to go down the inside that hard. He would not expect it. If I'm honest. He knows I'm not that sort of driver. But now I've got pace in this car, so I'm just wanting to get on with it. With all due respect to Rudy. Bob Taylor's disconnected. Really not what he wants, obviously.
Car on your left. Clear.
Yeah, I need to make these sort of moves. If I see an inkling of a chance, I'm taking them. It's not my usual style of driving. I don't always necessarily like it, but I'm in a championship fight. I've been put further down the field because somebody doesn't know how to race alongside another driver. I am going to start going hard to try and make my way back up. I've got to do it. Daniel Slater's out.
Right side. Clear on the right.
Alright, that's another good pass done. Wreck behind. So now, our next objective, catch up to Steve now. Steve, I'm very surprised he's as far up the field that he is. It's not a driver that I regularly see him up this far up, but he's had some very good results in the past. Normally gets like 1 or 2 a season. He'll get some very good results. And Charlotte is a weird track, so it's good to see him up this far up the field. We're back up into the top 15. Oh, did Paul just hit the wall there? Might have done. So I think one of the cars that actually had an incident here last lap was Daniel Justo, which is a driver that we're having a fight for the title with. Yeah, Daniel's out. That can be a deciding factor in the championship. The fact that he's retired, and I know my car's strong. I've had a setback, yes. But the fact that I've managed to fight my way back and actually pass him on track, and now he's retired, that could be a big swing. As you can see, I'm taking things very carefully. I am putting legit 0 risk in right now. I am still catching up to Steve, which is good. A little bit wide there. Never checked to see if I had any damage from that.
We got damage on the front end.
Okay, so we do have a little bit of damage on the front. Okay. That would have been from the incident with Benjamin. But I don't think that's going to matter too much, if I'm honest. But the fuel stock is going to be short enough that I think we're only going to have time to change 2 tyres. That is kind of what I'm planning for, if I can help it. Okay, them 2 are fighting up ahead. I'm about the same pace as Benjamin right now. And I'm barely pushing the car at all. Enough half an hour into the race already. Well, I hope you're all enjoying the stream so far. We are making a fight back after an early lap incident. But despite having a tiny little bit of damage, we are catching up to some of the guys in front. The main obstacle is going to be actually passing Benjamin later on, who is only 5.5 seconds up the road. If you have enjoyed the stream so far, do not forget to give it a like as well. It does help out quite a lot. If you do want to see further content, please subscribe to the channel as well. I'm guessing that was a little bit of netcode hit with the barrier. But Steve is actually keeping good pace. I'm surprised. He's keeping a good rhythm. Like, it's the chicane that I'm mostly catching up to him at. Really, it's the chicanes, which they are very difficult to get right. I am going to admit that. But everywhere else, with the same speed, it's going to be difficult to pass him, you know. That front right is not liking this at all. Might need to make a legitimate pass on Steve. Fucking as in actually make a pass on track. And not by lapping him. Because normally when I meet Steve on the track, it's normally me lapping him. It's not me fighting him for position. Letting me by? Okay. I would not expect him to be letting me by because we're fighting for track position, but I guess he just doesn't feel like we're racing necessarily. So, him just letting me by, he's just thinking about his race, which is fine. You know, he's respecting the fact that he's not going to be able to keep me behind, so he'd just rather let me go now and just focus on his own race. He's very far up the field, which is brilliant. And he doesn't want to ruin that. So, I respect him for that. Because many drivers, when you're like him, you want to fight. Rip cones. Well, this will be interesting. Sanderson and Raphael together. Two drivers that I've actually had issues with. Obviously, I had Benjamin had an incident with him earlier on. Didn't want to give me any room. Thierry was the same issue last week. Okay, that was not an off track, but I was thinking that was going to be such.
New fast flat for you.
That is very annoying. The fact that he's tried to push his car on cold tyres right in front of live traffic that he's been given blue flags to as he's coming out of pit lane. The worst thing you can do is do exactly what he just did. Actually try and go at normal racing speed when your car tyres are cold. The car cannot manage that. He would have been so much better off just sticking to the left hand side where he was originally and just slowing down a little bit more if he can. I could see him. I was positioning in my car in such a way so that way if he did slow down a bit more, I would have gone past him completely okay. And just because of that, I've lost a second. Oh, Thierry's made a mistake of some sort. So that pass that he did on Richard earlier on is now back behind. Oh, that's Benjamin there.
Car right.
Right, that's good. We've got past Benjamin now. He brakes very early for the chicane a lot. Boy, you almost lost it on the crest there. There's a little crest just before the double left-hander that brings you out to here. And if you turn the wheel too early, it actually brings the rear around. That wasn't a great chicane there. I do wonder if I do pit in early. But we're right to the halfway mark now. Part of the issue is, I think, because there's still a lot of cars still out on the track, it might actually be worse by me coming in the pits early. Because just bear in mind, I'm going to meet a lot of traffic that I will have to pass for track position again. So it might be a factor of, you know what, just keep saving fuel. And that's how I get past this lot. There's my little heller that's just gone off. Yeah, that might be the best thing to do, just keep saving as much fuel as I physically can. You can flash all you want, Benjamin. You're not any faster than me. Thing is, a low rank driver would feel that that's been putting off. It's what ice hockey calls a pest. Thing is, by doing what he's doing, he's only slowing himself down, honestly. But he's pushing too hard now. Because I've now started going to a non-fuel saving mode now. He's now feels like he's being forced to push too hard now. You know, I might actually report that for unsportsmanlike behaviour. Because look, that's given him absolutely nothing. It's done absolutely nothing for him. And that will probably get him into a bit of trouble there. And that won't be picked up by the stewards, because that won't be classed as an incident from the iRacing system. Because really, it's not. It's not an incident as such. It's just somebody being a dick. That's all it is. Like, if he was actually faster than me, he would be ahead of me. He's still doing it. Thing is, I won't say anything on the comms, because if I say something on the comms, then he knows that I'm thinking about him. So, but just ignoring him, it's getting him more and more frustrated. Oh yeah, definitely. I just find it funny when he's doing that and he's not any faster. In fact, you know, when you take out the slipstream advantage, I'm actually quicker than him. Oh, Paul Carey had an incident, I guess, during the race. He's down in P23. Ah, okay, that's okay. Went a little bit wide. Don't feel any difference, so I know I've got some damage on the front from the initial contact with Benjamin early on.
We got damage on the front end.
Oh, Thierry almost hit the wall, and he's now slow. So let's make that overtake.
Car right. Clear.
There we go. Through just one mistake, just being patient for several laps, and Thierry has now been passed. So, have at it, you two. Do what you wish. Me, myself, I'm on an adventure. So we're now up to P11. And now he has made a mistake there, Richard. Try and get a pass on him now.
Car right. Clear on the right.
Okay, give him the extra space just in case it was required, but managed to get a clean pass on Richard as well. So it's going to be quite a distance to get to the next driver, which I believe is Jason Finch. Another driver that probably shouldn't be as far up the field as he is. Last season he did have some very good races though. They couldn't really capitalise on any of them. So he is a quick drive on some tracks. That's a bit wide. I managed to bring it back. Almost at the hour mark though. I don't think there's been any proper scheduled stops being taken yet. Not from the leaders anyway. Here we are, 3 hours in. Oh, Rich has gone round. I do feel the rear tyres starting to go a little bit. Now bear in mind, I'm only going to be changing 2 tyres. The stop isn't long enough to change all 4. I wonder how many drivers are actually going to realise that. I'm going to start setting up our pit stop soon. Oh, I really do feel that front end right now. Really do. For the lack of grip that it has. Turned in far too late for that turn there. Okay, drivers are starting to pit.
You've got about 2 laps of fuel left.
Okay, right. Setup. Pit stop has been sorted out fully. So we're all good now. Been fully set up. So, we'll put in this time by.
About 1 lap of fuel left.
Thank you, Rudy. So I am pretty much a pit stop behind. But most of it I have been saving fuel, so I've saved effectively a full lap of fuel over the race. Okay, optional repairs is only 13.3.
We're done. Get going.
So just remember, one thing that's unusual about the treads, because the fuel stop is so short, we've only changed the right side tyres. So the left side tyres are the original set that we started the race with. So the balance is going to be a little out of shape to begin with, but once they're warmed up, they'll be fine. But at this point, pretty much now, we are free to push to the end. Oh, it's Jason. There is Jason right there. He's made a mistake in the bus stop.
Right side, clear on the right. Right side, clear.
Shift it down to second just to give that bit more rotation.
All right. Clear.
So good of Jeff there. Right, so we're P9. The next car up the road is Zachary Hankey, and he's 10 seconds up the road. Might be a little bit tricky to catch up. But definitely give it a go.
That was your fastest lap of the session.
Be more gentle on the front towers. Yeah. I'm just trying to now catch up to Zachary, that's the thing. I think I do need to try and push for him to make up this position. And I think I'm faster than Jason, clearly, so... I don't think I'm necessarily in a position to just go, I want to look after everything. I've just got to go for it. Oh, that was a really old message. That must be how hard I'm concentrating on this race. How old was that message then? Was that before my stop? Oh, there you go. The front wanted to over-rotate then for a minute.
Car right. Clear.
Thing is, Zachary, is that 14 minutes? Really? That long ago? Blimey. That's a very old message. I reckon without that that incident with Benjamin early on, I reckon we would have been on for a top 5. Because bear in mind, we were, yes, saving a lot of fuel, but we were losing so much time. We were. And the only reason why I was saving fuel, really, to be honest, was because we was just losing so much time that was like, well, I can't get past them unless I'd be overly aggressive, and that might not end well. So that's the only thing I can actually do. So I was like, right, I think if we weren't in all that traffic after the spin and we just assumed our position, I reckon we was on for a top 5. I reckon, because we was even ahead of Sophie, and Sophie is almost 20 seconds up the road. I've probably lost at least 20 seconds just by being in traffic, if I'm honest. Bit of understeer there, underbrake it. Just me pushing a bit too hard, maybe. Just need to bring it back a bit. Thing is, other than that 2x as well from Benjamin, I've had no incident points all race. So there's nothing more I can say about it. I was on for a 0 incident point race, which nobody's had all season yet. There might be a couple from this race, I don't know. Almost screwed it up there. Oh, okay. Let's cool the front tyres down a bit. They're obviously getting a bit hot. I am probably pushing a little bit too hard. Yeah, if it's doing that. My thing is right now, I really want this P8. I do from Zachary. But if I want that P8, I've got to keep pushing. That's definitely way too hard. Yeah, I just need to settle down. About 10 minutes left, so I would need to be gaining at least a second a minute, which is virtually impossible, so I think at this point just bring the car home. You never know what can happen between now and then. Zachary might make a mistake, so let's not ruin what's been another good fight back. You know, we had a really good fight back at Hockenheim last week out. We did. We started quite far back on the grid, and we managed to get through the first lap chaos. We did, and gain a lot of positions during the course of the race as well. This race, we did have a good starting position. We did gain, I think, 1 or 2 spots at the start during the initial first load of laps. And unfortunately, we got turned by another. Another driver decided to basically come across me, and we both spun in the chicane, and I lost about 10 places. And then we've had to fight through them, and just wait for them to make a mistake, because this isn't an easy track to overtake either. We're probably not first amongst the silver class drivers. We're probably like second. But we might be first, I don't know. I'll have a look in a sec. But we were first at Daytona, and now we might be first in silver class at Mini-Daytona, as I dub it as. Well, both me and Paul anyway. If you're wondering where Zachary is on the track, that last car just come out of that chicane now, that's him. That's Zachary. Yeah, we're not first. That would be Frank Cordier, who's been pretty lonely. So, but we are P2 in silver class. I think I am going to try and button a map, so that way I'm not having to do that. Because obviously now I don't have race labs. I can't. There is a couple of things that I wish I did have. But then it would be more difficult anyway, because it's not like the classes are set up within iRacing. It's more of a local thing, really, so... So first place is just Aceikith the infield. So he's quite far ahead. Even ahead of P2 by quite a bit. That's Simon Ball. Oh, okay. Not all of that was me, by the way.
We got damage on the front end.
Okay, so there's only front end damage from early on. But we've been able to manage that quite well. I don't think it's really lost us any time, to be honest. Slowing down a bit too much there. We've got a couple more laps to go now after this one. Missed that apex completely. Okay, that was scary. That was my front right tyre, I think. That might be the balance of the car overall, though, as well. Now we've got Jason right on our overview mirrors. Of course, in the class championship, we're not battling each other. But the overall championship, it does help a little bit by staying ahead. So let's just bring this home.
Last lap. You've got about 2 laps of fuel left. Right side. Clear.
Yeah, you could get the chicane properly right. But this should be fine then. Yeah, that is good. P9 finish, I'm very happy about that. Very, very happy. Definitely not easy though. It was made a lot more difficult, especially because of the incident early. But, you know, we managed to make a good fight back. We did in all of that. So, P2 in silver class. Frank Cordier did manage to win that, the class. I think it's his first ever class win in silver, I believe. But I think we had a chance of actually keeping up with him, maybe even passing him if we didn't have that incident early. Bear in mind, it's not just the spin itself that obviously would have cost me. It's all that time I would have lost being behind traffic that I shouldn't have been behind in the first place. So yeah, so definitely not an easy race, but you know, we managed to make a good fight back. A lot of my rivals, I think, had issues during the race as well. So the fact that they all had issues in some way or form, and we managed to get a good result despite having an incident early on, I think is a big factor, really. I said at the start of the stream, this could be the deciding race of the season because of how chaotic the start could be. So the factor of that we managed to get through the initial carnage and survive, you know, a spin because somebody can't race side by side. You know, that's a good event in my books, really, to be honest. So, and yeah, this is my first league race for using iOverlay as well, which, to be honest,
okay,
you know,
the race is over. Bring it on in.
It's fantastic. Like, did you guys notice
We're done. Get going.
any stuttering during the race at all, or because I don't think really we had that much stuttering on stream at all. I noticed there was some encoding warnings every now and then, but it's nothing like what we had before. You know, and bear in mind, this was a race at night, and a very busy track on what is a short track as well, which can all harm the GPU quite aggressively. It can as well. So yeah, overall, very good finish overall. I will finish in a minute. Yeah, I know. Yeah, alright. Yeah, okay, alright. Yeah, big congrats also to Sophie for winning the bronze class. I believe it might be her first ever bronze class win as well. So, and she fought very hard. You know, she was always towards the front, and she has improved quite a lot this season, actually. So, I think it's been a matter of, part of it is that the new Ferrari is faster compared to the old one. It's a bit more suitable. You just got to learn it, really. You know, but I think, you know, for me, the reason why I'm deciding to change to a different car next season is because that I know I am most probably going to be going to gold class next season. And I do need a car that is going to be more suitable towards the front. Some drivers in the Ferrari are making it work, obviously, as you can see. Frederick Wohlraff, P2 in the Ferrari. So it is a fast car. But I think overall, I think the Porsche will deliver more. I think so. Yeah, overall, very good finish. So there is the ending result. So I'm going to have a look at the incident that we had early on. I am. So Benjamin Sanderson was a lap down, finishes P11. So only 10 cars finished on the lead lap. And even Paul Kerry, I think he had an incident at some point during the race. Even Paul Kerry finished P14. So I think this race just overall is just insane. I think, honestly. So yeah, this looks like this was the lap. So it was lap 6 that we had the incident. So bear in mind, we're just following traffic. We are actually trying to save fuel. We are right now. We know by playing the fuel saving game, we are in a very good position. And that's what we're looking to do. We are. So lap 6, we're P9 at the moment. Managed to make a pass on... who was it? On I don't think it was Sophie. Can't remember who it was that we made a pass on early on. So yeah, so we're P9. So I believe Benjamin Sanderson makes a mistake. Yeah, he goes too wide on the exit trying to go too fast. I get a big run. But at this point, at this very moment, I think to myself, right, I am now going to make the pass. Because the only way I get to Frank Cordier, this is where he is. He's already quite a bit further ahead. This is my main rival in this race of who I need to be able to catch up with. I believe in the long run, over a series of laps, I could have caught up to him. But I think in the end, he was just a little bit too fast, really, to be honest. But, you know, the fact is, obviously, you know, he was obviously very fast. He got P5 overall as well. So, yeah, so this is the incident with Benjamin. This is, so, coming up to the tight chicane, the bus stop. He covers the inside line. Perfectly legal. He's kept his line. He's in a defensive maneuver. But now he has to consider two different things. I am obviously faster. I have now got the racing line. I am going to be looking down his outside line, and he's got to respect that. At this moment, we are now fully alongside. He had to give me space. Initially, he does do that. Now, I do go a little bit wide, but look what he does. Absolutely no space. This is the second race in a row, bear in mind, that I've had a driver not willing to give me any space on the track. So I am going to be bringing it up with the stewards and just explaining to them of what rule drivers are starting to break, because this is the second race in a row now where I've had a driver not giving enough space on the racetrack. When you are fully alongside, especially like this, the driver that is attacking is entitled to racing room at this point. He is going to that inside curb here like as if I'm not even there. He still had to give me space though, that's the thing. Like a steward will back me up on it 100%. Like if they don't back me up on it, it's going to be silly. Really, to be honest, because I'm always alongside. Like if I look at my trajectory to his, give me just 1 second. This is from when I did the thumbnail early on. So let's have a look. I'll have a look at both cameras actually. That might be a good shout. So front camera doesn't really give enough, really, to be honest. I don't think. Let's have a look at rear chase. Yeah, I'm gonna have a look at his cockpit as well to see what's going on, because he might be trying to turn as much as possible and he's just gone too deep. But regardless of the fact of that, you know, he will get even if it's just a warning. So yeah, I am always alongside. I am always alongside, so I am entitled to racing room. At no point at any stage he says to me, like, he will get the message to say all clear by his crew chief if he has it on, which he should do. So let's have a look at cockpit. Let's go on board with Benjamin. I will need to rewind that to bring back the camera a little bit more. So now the next thing is that the stewards will now look at, because now they've looked at, you know, have I always been alongside? Am I entitled to racing room? Yes, that will be a factor. And I am entitled to racing room. And if crew chief is on Benjamin's side, he is never going to be given an all clear. We have a full wheel to wheel. Like my front wheel is directly alongside his rear wheel. So I'm entitled to racing space. Now the next thing is having a look at his wheels. So let's have a look. No. He is going to get a point penalty, I believe, for that. So I will report it. And I will actually also report the multiple flashes in an aggressive manner as well. There was a rule change at the start of last season where you was allowed to do that, but I do believe that there is a limit to it. So I am going to put it down as unsportsmanlike behaviour, because he is flashing multiple times. It's not like he's just flashing every now and then, or he's flashing in a pattern. He is flashing his headlights quite a lot, which I believe even in a real life racing situation there is a limit. So you know, like they changed that rule. I do not know why, really, to be honest. Like, I've always been of the factor of, like, I do think flashing headlights is a part of the sport, but it was originally in place for the factor of that, you know, it's unsportsmanlike. So the factor of that they've taken that rule away is a little bit weird, because if a governing body believes that that is unsportsmanlike, they should be keeping something like that in, you know. But you know, I don't know what's changed with that, honestly. You know, so I will be putting a individual report for the for unsportsmanlike conduct on Benjamin's side as well. I might even provide video footage. So I'm going to keep this here, and I'll deal with that tomorrow morning, I think. So so yeah, so I am going to start heading off for the evening. obviously I do not know when I'm next on a stream. It might even be next week, because this weekend I might be going out for the evening. I'm not sure if I'm going to be going with somebody or I'm just going to go out on my own and just have a chill evening, or if I might just spend some time at home, you know, and just do some for fun things basically. So, you know, just to recuperate a bit. This is part of the reason why I'm stopping recording and doing not doing shorts content for the moment, is because I want to try and relax a little bit more, you know, before I start grinding a little bit again, because obviously, you know, YouTube content is quite difficult to keep doing consistently for a long duration of time, especially when you start losing a little bit of momentum, and that's what decided it for me in the end. I will obviously let you guys know if I'm going to be streaming again before next week. If that is the case, it will be on my Discord server, so if you're not part of it yet, please please just send me a message in some place if you do want to the Discord link. They're normally always in the descriptions of all of my videos and my streams as well, so you can gain access to it via there. But yeah, another very good finish. Finished P9 overall, second place in the silver class as well, so another positive result. Some of our championship rivals again not having great races, so it does seem like that we are now starting to make our charge get away. So as long as we just keep up this momentum, we are in the driving seat. So another very positive result. So I'm going to leave it there though, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and hope you enjoy all the races ahead as well that you might be doing. I'm going to probably do a couple of races probably during the week ahead. But yeah, thank you ever so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night, everybody.